Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with some football. Week 10 of the college football. I got so many picks. I have a buddy that I do like the cards with. I told him I got 20 picks for college. it's like unbelievable this week. I just look at the game. I don't even have to really do much analyzing. It's just like, oh really, they're this, and oh here's this game, oh over, under, take the team, take the dog. It's unbelievable. Just so many games. Oh my god. I've been just so red hot. Last week, I was 12-3 in college. I'm 24-4 in the pros. Really, I've been losing like one big game and then hitting 8 big and medium games, and been hitting all my, just about all. If I play 6 teams and multiple teasers, I'm hitting 5, and then there's one that, oh well, but over the majority, I'm definitely hitting them. The last 3 weeks in pros have been just dynamite. This week should be dynamite. I'm getting the right matchups, the right dogs, and they're playing well. I had an interesting question from one of my customers. Like last week, I locked New Orleans getting 2 because that's the first line. That was the Monday line. They're getting 2, and I got to take New Orleans against Minnesota. Revenge game. I don't like Minnesota right now. Their defense is so banged up, and so at the time, I'm loving New Orleans, so I locked New Orleans with Pittsburgh, and big bet. And then all of a sudden the line moves, and now New Orleans is favored. Well, I've already got the bet in. See, that's the thing. That's why I tell you, you get me for the week. So when you buy for the week. So therefore, remember that. So if you're going to buy, if you can, buy earlier. And those type of lines where I see New Orleans, or this week, I love Buffalo at 7. I saw them on Monday, -7. I immediately bet them down to 1. Buffalo wins easy. I'm talking college Buffalo. I've locked them 3 times and they were easy winners, and here I took them. But I mean, if you come aboard Friday, you've missed the Buffalo game. And I know people get paid differently, I'm not saying, but if you do buy from me, you get the whole week. I'm not selling you one game for $35, and for $100 you get 3 games. For me, this week you're going to get at least 10 college that are very strong, and all the pros. So you can do that. I've got my I've adjusted my yearly prices now that are very reasonable for the amount of time you have left. So if you want to jump on those, it's a good time to do it. So you got better prices, and if you want to do that, buy I get a lot of monthly buyers because it's a lot cheaper, like $75 a week than it is the $100 or $135 a week. But I understand some people can only buy weekly, and I'm just really trying to help and reduce the price and give a discount if you buy the month. So try to make it easier. But again, judge me for the whole period. Don't judge me for one game. Don't judge me for 1 week. It's really not fair, because the pick is made that everything should turn out the way it does. But we all know reality, the refs, and somebody has a bad game. So it's hard to do that. But anyway, let's get on to the game. I got to talk Alabama LSU, and I got Alabama laying 14.5 or 15, over under at 53.5, and I want to give this opinion because I think it's an important opinion, and I think it's an important game to handicap, because I think this is one a lot of people will watch, and this is really a playoff game. And the winner should go to the playoff, and the loser shouldn't go to the playoff. Let's take a look at the numbers. Alabama scores 54 a game, gives up 16. good quarterback, Ty Tagovailoa. They throw for 350 a game. They run for 217. They got 564 yards of offense with a very strong defense. Let's look at LSU. They score 30 a game with the alright quarterback. He's not great. They give up 15 a game. Joe Burrow is the quarterback. They throw for 190. They run for 190. So basically about 380 yards of offense. Let's go into the stats of the quarterbacks. And when we get there, again, it's Ty Tagovailoa. He's got 25 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's been sacked 3 times, 258 a game. And we go to Joe Burrow. Throws for 193 a game, as we said. 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He gets sacked 18 times for a -100. The only one sacked more is Texas A&M's quarterback at 25 times. I go into the numbers of the trends. Alabama is 4-0 as a road favorite, 8-0 in overall. Again, these are in teasers, so where they didn't cover, they didn't miss by a lot. You still got they still won in a teaser, and that's the beauty of the teaser. That 6 points helps you more than you know, and it makes the bet easier. When you're making the bet, you got that 6 points, makes the game, you can bet more because it's a better, like a -8 down to a -2 is a much better bet. You can bet more and win more than if you're laying 8 and then they win by 7 and you lose, and you can't bet it that strongly. But here you can bet a 2 much more strongly, and your odds on winning have increased tremendously. So LSU 1-0 as a home dog, 6-1 against the against the number. To go against them, 2-5. So basically, they've been kicking butt. If I add 17 to that, Alabama road favorite, 8-3, 5-6 against LSU home dog. See, the problem with this trend is there's not enough sample size because they're very rarely a home dog. 2-0 as a home dog, 3-0 as a road dog. They're 5-0 as a dog, 14-5 overall. And remember, last year they weren't that strong. So we can go back to 16, see if we get a little bit more. LSU 3-0 as a home dog, 3-0 bet again. And in that is the Alabama game. They lost 10-0, but they covered getting 7. So that was getting they were getting 13 in the teaser. They lost 10-0. So they're 6-0 against the number as a dog since 2016. Against, they're 2-4. Alabama 15-4 is a road favorite, 9-10. One of the reasons Alabama's so strong is because they play defense. You can go on the road as a road favorite if you can play defense, pretty much run the ball. So there you have those numbers. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of this game. Now here's where I make a unique situational decision. Okay, yes, Alabama 50 points, gives up 15. I get that. Come on. But here's the hidden that I'm looking at. My computer will settle down. Okay, let's look at who Alabama's played. Louisville, who's absolutely terrible, no quarterback. Arkansas State, they kill them. Again, a weak team. Ole Miss, 62-7. Again, a team with no defense. A&M, who's the best team they played so far, who's decent. They're not very good. They beat them 45-23 in that game. Louisiana Lafayette, who's not a very good Sun Belt team. Arkansas, who's the weakest SEC team, 65-31. But do notice Arkansas put up 31. Missouri, who's got a terrible defense, they beat them 39-10, much closer of a game. And I don't see how, well, Missouri had 3 turnovers. I was going to say, because I don't see Missouri only threw for 142. Again, Bama throws for 380. Tennessee, a terrible team, 58-21. And, you know, Alabama gets 500 yards a game. They throw for at least 300 in every game. The only team that ran on the Arkansas State ran for 173. Louisiana Lafayette ran for 200 yards on 38 carries. Arkansas got 400 yards on them. And Missouri got nothing. I don't know what happened to Missouri that day. And Tennessee, nothing because they're pathetic. But the point is, they haven't played anybody. They haven't played a good defense either. And this is the thing that I've been kind of teaching as we've gone, as I've developed this new method, which is basically looking at the points. So when you look at points for and points again. So let's take a look at these teams. Texas A&M gives up 22. That was the best defense they played. And that was, you know, in that game is when they scored 40. It was 45-23. Okay, they played Missouri, gives up 29 a game. They played Ole Miss, gives up 35 a game. Played Tennessee, gives up 30 a game. Played Arkansas, gives up 34 a game. Played Louisiana Lafayette, gives up 37 a game. Played Arkansas State, gives up 33 a game. Played Louisville the first week. Louisville is the worst team in the ACC, gives up 37 a game. So if we notice what's going on here, they played one decent defense in A&M. Outside of that, everybody's given up in the 30s. So for them to score 50 points a game against defenses that gives up 30, 35, Louisville 36, I mean, it's a joke. Let them play the Big Ten, where you got Michigan giving up 14, Iowa 16, Michigan State 21, Ohio State 22, Wisconsin 21. Then we'll see what happens. Clemson gives up 13, Miami 19, Virginia. So what I'm saying is, yeah, they look good, but if you dive in, they haven't played anybody. So for them to put up 50, 60 points, and the guy 25 touchdowns and no interceptions and very few sacks, first of all, I'm wondering, how are these guys getting so wide open? I mean, you watch it, they score 28 in the first quarter, and it looks like they're playing a high school team. Well, the reason is they are playing a high school team. I don't know what plays they're designing and why some of these, like Tennessee's defense, should be able to handle them a little. Missouri and Arkansas are terrible. A&M. So A&M, they threw for 415 yards, ran for 109. A&M put up 400 yards on them, 45-23. They win by 22. It's the best team they played, and A&M is not very good. Now, let's look at LSU. They beat a good defensive Miami team. They don't have a good quarterback. They beat Auburn 22-21. They beat Florida. Well, they lost to Florida 27-19, who has a great defense. Again, they were a road favorite there. They beat Georgia 36-16, who we all know how good Georgia is. And then they go beat Old Mississippi State 19-3. Well, let me tell you about Old Mississippi State's defense. Okay, so they played Miami, Auburn, Louisiana Tech. They also played. Why do I bring them up? They got a good defense. Florida, Georgia, Mississippi. They played 3, 5, 6 teams with outstanding defenses, and they put up 22 on Auburn, 38 on Louisiana Tech, 19 on Florida, 36 on Georgia, 19 on Old Mississippi State. And I know I'm playing a game with Old Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Bear with Teaserking. Okay, so let's look. Louisiana Tech gives up 22 a game versus Arkansas State, who gives up 35. Georgia gives up 16 a game. Auburn gives up 16 a game. Old Mississippi State gives up 13 a game. And Florida gives up 19 a game. And if you notice, LSU had to play Florida and they had to play Georgia in the crossover. How come Alabama keeps missing Florida and Georgia in the crossover? They get the lousy Tennessee, they get crappy Missouri. I mean, it's again, Alabama plays zero competition until now. In the next 3 games, 3 out of 4, because they play the Citadel in there, another strong high school team. They play. LSU gives up 15. They play Old Mississippi State, gives up 13, and they finish with Auburn, who gives up 16. Now we'll get a true test of Alabama. I'm not saying Alabama's good. I'm not saying Alabama's bad. All I'm saying is Alabama hasn't played nobody. And to put up these numbers and be anointed, they could lose these 3 games and still make the playoffs, because that's how fixed the playoff is. Well, Alabama is the best 3-team team because they beat all the teams that sucked with no defenses and put up a lot of points, so they looked really good. I mean, this is what makes me throw up. But this is why you dig into the data. This is why you pay me, and this is why you listen to my videos, because I give you stuff. I'm not sugarcoating, oh, Alabama's the greatest team in the history of life. I'm telling you the facts. Now, we're going to see. Now, I'm very happy to see Alabama and LSU play at 8 o'clock at night, not a noon game. Because we all know how tough these whiteouts are. Look at Ohio State. Had to go to Purdue Saturday night. Penn State's coming to Michigan. No, I think that's an afternoon game. Michigan went to Penn State on Saturday night and got killed. These night games are extremely tough on the road team. Ohio State went to Penn State, and I think they won 27-26. It was a very tough game. So, you got to factor that in. You got to factor the defense. LSU, I don't know who this Joe Burrow, he came from Ohio State. Not that impressive, but what is impressive is the defense. So let me scroll up a little bit and read you some of the stats. Alabama runs for 217 a game, throws for 350, 564, again against no defenses. The run defense, they give up 113. You can throw on them for about 195. So it's roughly 308. Again, not playing great offensive teams either. LSU playing a whole bundle of really strong teams. Gives up 190 rushing yards versus Alabama giving up 216. Or no, I'm sorry. This is offense. LSU runs for 190 a game, Alabama 216. LSU throws for 190, Alabama throws for 350. So there's a discrepancy there, but again, look who they're playing. Now the defense against extremely strong teams, LSU gives up 130 rushing, Alabama 113 playing weak teams. Passing 194 Alabama, 199 LSU. So LSU playing Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Miami, Mississippi State, gives up 330 yards on defense. 199, Alabama gives up 195, playing nobody with any talent except for, I think Missouri could throw the ball and A&M could move it a little bit. Those are the best offenses they've played. Running, they give up 130. So they're giving up 330 yards, and they get a lot of turnovers. So that's the next point I'm trying to make here. So against Alabama, Louisville, no offense. Arkansas State's good against Sun Belt teams. Ole Miss has a good offense. They only got 7. A&M put up 23. Louisiana Lafayette's terrible. Arkansas is terrible, put up 31. Missouri, who can score, but if you notice, like last week against Kentucky, lost 16-15 or 15-14. Doesn't score against the better defenses. Tennessee actually put up 21. I don't know how, but they did. So, and here you got Auburn put up 21. Ole Miss, they held to 16. Florida got 27 on them. Georgia got 16. Georgia freaking got 16 points on them. And Old Mississippi State 3. Okay, now we've looked at the numbers. We've looked at the teaser numbers. We've looked at the offense and the defense. We've looked at how they are as a road favorite and a home dog. And, you know, I'm thinking long and hard. You got Saturday night in Death Valley. The fans will be pounding. I honestly think that LSU can easily win this game. Not easily. Can win the game. Straight out. Because they've been there. You think they're going to be scared of Alabama after playing Auburn, Georgia, Florida, Miami, and Old Mississippi State? You think they're going to be scared of that defense? I don't see why. There's no way that defense is better than Florida's, Georgia's, Mississippi State, who gives up 12 points a game, and Miami's. Okay? So LSU moved on these teams. And, so they'll move the ball on Alabama. Alabama's not going to come in here and light up 50 points and beat them 50 to 10. That's not going to happen because LSU's proven against Georgia and Florida and Auburn and Mississippi State they can move the ball against excellent defenses. So you can't discount they shut down Georgia. You can't discount they shut down Florida. Well, Florida scored on them. You can't discount they beat Auburn. And you can't discount they totally shut down Miami, who, okay, their quarterback's terrible. So they're playing extremely well. You've got them at home. I just feel, will Alabama win? I think they might win. Will they cover 14.5, 15 points? It could happen. Would I take Alabama -8? No, because it's Saturday night and LSU's proven how they played against tough defenses. I can't see that. I think LSU and 20.5, 21, if you can get 21.5, absolutely is the play at home as far as because of who they played. The Floridas, the Georgias, the Auburns. And they've held they've only lost the one game to Florida as a road favorite at Florida. Over under a 53-54. That one's really got me puzzled because I know Alabama's offense. One thing I've learned is you watch two Steeler Cowboy Super Bowls. The real two, not the one in the 90s or the Zeros or whenever the hell they played with Jimmy Johnson. But the real ones, the Bradshaw Staubach ones. And it showed you how the good defense shuts down the good offense and how they would shut the Raiders down, the Steelers. LSU is going to blitz this guy. And I think they're going to go all, no holds barred. I'm going to have a hard time that Alabama's going to have 10 seconds to throw and this kid's going to throw and put up 45 points on LSU. At home on a Saturday night with this defense. And they got Patrick Peterson II and Honey Badger III. They always have good secondary guys. Their guys aren't going to be floating wide open. They're not going to have 5 seconds to throw the ball. And guess what? Alabama doesn't have the normal run game. And even on a good day, in this game, if we take a look at the last 2 years, Alabama wins 10-0 at LSU, laying the 7. Time of possession, they ran it on them, 216-33. They threw for 107, and LSU got 92. So you can see they don't get a lot on that. Okay, well, let's look at last year. They had Jalen Hurts. They win 24-10 at Bama, laying 21. LSU was not a very good team last year. They've had quarterback problems. In this one, Alabama runs for 116, throws for 183. LSU runs for 151, throws for 155. Time of possession, LSU 34-25. So here Alabama beats them by 14. At home, Lane 21. So obviously it shows LSU wasn't that as good offensively. Still hold them to 24. And because Teaserking is Teaserking, I have the 2017 stats. So let's look at this. Last year, Alabama scored 39 a game and gave up 11. Seems similar. LSU scored 28 a game and gave up 18. So they are similar, 39-11, 28-18 this year, 54-15, and LSU's 30-15. So LSU was 18-19, it was 28-19, and it's now basically 30-15. But against the competition and the fact they beat Georgia, I definitely have to take LSU plus 20 or 21 and just say I could see LSU winning. First of all, they're going to put all kinds of pressure on this court. They're not going to let this kid just sit back. And they're going to blitz the hell out of him, and that's the key is they got the freaking speed to do it. Nobody's going to be wide open for Alabama like they've been. This is the first time this kid's going to see a defense like this. He hasn't seen a defense like this at all. I don't know how good he is because you can't because he hasn't played anybody. Playing a half against Georgia doesn't tell me anything. See, you can get away with the first game because there's no film on you, so the defense really doesn't know how to guard you. What do you do? Oh, he's left-handed. He likes moving to his left. He likes moving to his right. He's a runner. He's he's going to run the option. You don't know right away. Now, after all these games, LSU knows exactly what he likes to do. They know why he's throwing these touchdowns, but they have the defense that can stop him. Okay, with all that said, I love LSU plus the 20-20.5. I think this game's going down to the wire. This game will be no more than a 10-point spread. I think it goes under. I think 53.5. If you go to 59.5, 60 points. I don't see how this game goes over that. LSU's not going to let Alabama go up and down the field on them. And they have the defense to do it. It's home Saturday night. The only way this game gets over is if LSU starts scoring, like they did against Georgia, like they did against Auburn, where they put up in the 30s, and that's really the only difference. LSU's been putting up. They put up 30 on Miami's team. Let's see how good's Miami's defense. I didn't mention theirs. They give up 19 a game, and LSU, put them right out there, right? They put up 33 on them, I believe. So my point is, this Joe Burrow, the offense is set up. It must, they move the ball, and they put up 26 on Georgia. So I see LSU scoring in the 20s. I think Alabama, if they get behind, will find a way to score. They seem to do that. But first of all, I don't think Alabama's played 4 quarters yet. So when they come to the fourth quarter, they're going to be winded. They're not going to know what hit them if they're still in the game in the fourth quarter. Alabama, they're used to scoring 21, 28 points in the first quarter. They'll be lucky to do that in the game. It's going to be different. They're going to struggle. LSU's going to be moving. It's going to be. I give LSU like 3 turnovers. They'll get a couple interceptions. I can see them sacking this quarterback 3 or 4 times. Just they come in with nothing to lose. They're at home. It's Saturday night, and I just think they're going to be playing really fast defensively. Offensively, they'll move the ball enough. Maybe both teams get in the 20s. Maybe that's about it. This should be 24-21, 28-20. Alabama might sneak out the win, but if LSU wins, it won't surprise me a bit, because I believe at this point, with my synopsis, is Alabama is a phony because they haven't played anybody. Now, if they go in and they put up 50-0 on LSU, okay, now I know Alabama's for real, and they can lose the next 3 and make the playoffs, and that, nobody can bitch. But that's how I look at it. I would absolutely take LSU in 20, and at home on Saturday night with that defense and the way they beat Georgia and the way they beat Auburn and Miami and scored on Old Mississippi State, who's got a very good offense too. So, okay, the Florida game in Florida, it was at Florida, and I know it matters where you play. So I think LSU is going to be sky high. I think they have the speed and the talent. They always have better pro talent than Alabama. If you watch my draft videos, I'm always saying that. Many more players from LSU are better in the pros than Alabama because it's a system. LSU is going to have to throw to beat them, but I think they can with this Burrow kid. Let me take a quick look at his stats. Burrow again. He's, where is he hiding? Alright, he's 120 out of 223. He's 53%, 1,500 yards, 200 a game, 7 yards in attempts, 6 touches, 3 interceptions, sacked 18 times. So Alabama's going to sack him, which leads to a low-scoring game. But he only throws 3 interceptions against all those defenses that he's faced, right? Florida's and Georgia's and Mississippi State's and Auburn's and Miami, the kid's only thrown 3 interceptions. So Alabama's not going to get these things, and they're going to be seeing speed they haven't seen all year with this LSU defense at home. There it goes. Teaserking. Take LSU plus the 20. I'm not telling you to play the under, but I would not be surprised if there's not a whole lot of points in this game. Yes, I know, but let's look at Missouri. Here's the tail of the tape. Missouri, Drew Lock, 16 touchdowns, 6 picks. Jordan Tanu, Ole Miss, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks. And they play Alabama, and they didn't do anything. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when a good quarterback plays a strong defense, this defense shuts them down. And all I'm saying is here's Troy Tagliavola, 25-0, 258 yards a game. But here's my point. Because that, he hasn't seen this defense. You watch the defense do to him what his defense did to Drew Lock and Jordan Tamayo. That's my point. So LSU's defense can make Tagliavola look normal. He's not going to have all these wide open wide receivers, and he's not playing these give up 30 points a game defense. Like I said, they've only played one decent team in A&M, and everybody's all, yeah, this spread's ridiculous. 14 points. Spread should be 7. That's about what it is. I mean, people are not noticing LSU, who they're beating. They beat freaking Georgia. And nobody's like, well, yeah. Georgia's only good when you want to talk about the national title. Well, Georgia's a playoff team. And Georgia beat Florida by 20 points. But no. Now that LSU beat them, well, yeah, that doesn't matter. Which is the hypocrisy of the whole thing, right? LSU killed Georgia. They beat them by 10 or 15. So you shut down Georgia, Alabama's going to put up 40 on you? Not happening. Take LSU plus the 20. I'm in a very good mood, so I'm going to give you a second game. I'm not really going to go into the analysis. I'm just going to give you one. Take Fresno State, laying 26 down to 20. Fresno State in the teasers, 19-1. Enough said. Fresno State is a playoff team. They're playing a weak Vegas team who has a terrible defense, a decent offense. Their quarterback's out. The backup's okay. Fresno State's been killing everybody. Take Fresno State with LSU as a gift from Teaserking. Again, my specials are out there. You can buy the year very cheaply now, $600 for the pros, and it's 12 weeks, so that's $50 a week. Or you can get all the games for $775, I think, which again, it's $135 a week. You got 12 pro weeks. It includes, you bought that, you get all the playoff games, all the locks, all the bowl games, the college playoff. You have a whole month of college big games, all the way through the Super Bowl. You get everything, and $775 basically for 12 weeks, which is $50, $60 a week. So if you're going to gamble and you're going to play, then I would advise that one. Or you can just buy the monthly package, which is $350, which gets you 4 weeks. I'll be selling the I'll be selling the bowls for $100, including the playoffs and any locks. In the NFL playoffs, I sell for $100 through the Super Bowl and any locks. So that's what's coming up. But right now, that's what it is with the new prices. All I can say is I've been on fire. I got the pros all figured out. Last year it was like, who the hell, who's Jacksonville, who's the Rams? They both sucked the year before. All of a sudden they change it. Now it's the Rams, it's the Saints, it's New England. Green Bay looked like a good team last week. Pittsburgh looks like Pittsburgh again. All is well in the world, and it's all very good to bet on. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. Please feel free to email me with questions. If you want to play a big teaser with my picks, if you want to play a 15, 20 team teaser, this is the week. $50, and then you give me 10% of the winnings, and you can have no, I don't even think it's 50. I think it's $25. Give me $25, 10% of the winning, and you got to show me the ticket before so I know what you've done and that, and we can do that. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Good luck. Again, www.teaserking.com.